So, have you ever just been sitting there with some money burning a hole in your pocket and you're wondering what LEGO Star Wars sets should I buy with this money? Well, this video is your guide for that. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be recommending LEGO Star Wars sets at every budget. I did $100, $250, $500, and $1,000 for your budget. If you're above or below that, then I'll still give a couple recommendations here and there, but I just kind of wanted to go with round numbers that are easy to digest. So if you guys do enjoy this video and find it helpful, make sure you leave a like on the video, comment down below your thoughts if you have any other suggestions, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to see more. This video is just going to be sticking to Star Wars. If you do want to see a broader video of all themes, that will be a lot more. But let me know in the comments down below if you do want to see that. That one will be a lot more broad and probably have a lot weirder recommendations because it's probably a lot harder for me to get certain price points under different themes. But yeah, let's get right into this list here. So starting off, I did, like I said, 100, 250, 500, 1000. Those are the price points I chose. Like I said, kind of flexible around in there for your own budget, but those are the price points I went with. And I also did recommendations for both original trilogy and prequel sets. So I have two recommendations or more for each price point. I did not include, for the most part, sets from The Mandalorian or like the Dark Falcon. Like I tried to stick to only original trilogy and prequels because I felt like that is going to be the most popular thing because I have a feeling people might look at this for like gifts or something. And for the most part, these are either play sets or UCS sets. They're not too many 18 plus display models, but enough talking. Let's get right into the first set here. So we're going to start off with the prequels for $100. We have the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. Now this set is retiring soon at the end of July. So if you are watching this video after the end of July, there's a chance it's gone. So if you do watch this video after that, I would recommend substituting this for this battle pack here. But the Obi-Wan Starfighter is definitely the better set and pairs perfectly with the other set I'm recommending you get at this price point, which is the Jango Fett Starship. You are pretty much perfectly at $100 here. You're at $99.98. So it is a great set. Both of these are pretty nice sets. You get both Kaminoans here. You get the almost UCS quality Jango Fett, just missing the arm print. You get a really, really nice best episode 2 Obi-Wan we've gotten. You get the Astromech and you get the Young Boba, and two actually pretty solid builds for what you'd expect. Like it is this the Jango Fett Slave 1 is kind of small, but it doesn't like feel like you're not getting what you pay for. Like, and again, uh really nice set. All of these are going to be at MSRP. Almost certainly everything on this list you can find at below MSRP at stores like Target or anything like that. So you can probably even find these sets. I've seen Jango Fett Starship for like 55 and the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter for like 24. So you can realistically get both these sets for probably around like $75, $80 pretty easily. So that leaves you a little extra budget if you do want something else. But that is my prequel recommendation. I also have a couple other things that don't match quite as well with the Obi-Wan Starfighter. The Obi-Wan Starfighter is like the best cheap set, but you could also get the V19 Torrent here, another great set, along with either the Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter or the Clone Trooper Battle Pack I showed. Those are two great combinations you can get. Also, the Brick Built Star Wars logo, if you do have the budget to squeeze it in on any of these, is always a good buy. I do really like the set. If you don't think you'll like it, just give it's cheap enough that you can just give it a chance and I'm sure you'll like it. Like I said, most sets you can find 20, 30% off. You'll probably find this for like $48 in some places. So if you can, or even cheaper than that, just give it a shot. Trust me, under $50, this thing's great. Then we also have the Gingerbread AT-AT on here. There wasn't a whole lot of original trilogy sets under $100 that I thought were actually that good. Like there was like the busts and all that, but I didn't want to recommend busts or like helmets or anything. I feel like those are kind of more niche. Like I like them, but I know a lot of people don't like them, which is kind of ironic that I'm recommending the Gingerbread AT-AT here. But if it's Christmas time when you're watching this video, great set. The set that I actually chose to recommend for $100 for original trilogy is the R2-D2. I think this is the best set. You do get the Darth Malak. And like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of options. So if you do have a little bit of extra money, you can definitely get better options for a little more than 100. But this is like the only really good $100 option I could find. So this is a great set. I'm not dissing it at all. I do really like it. I like the buildable droids, but I understand if you want a more playset model. Like if you want to go for other options that aren't necessarily OT, you could go for like Chopper, you could go for the U-Wing. There's a lot of sets in that ballpark that are really nice, but this was the recommendation I chose for this video. Next price point we have is going to be $250. Starting off, we have the OT recommendation here because this is probably the best set in this price range. We have the Imperial Star Destroyer here, probably the best $160 set they made in a while. This is a perfect build. You even get the Cal Kestis. You get all these nice figures here, and overall, just one of the best sets ever. Probably the second best Star Destroyer they've ever made behind the UCS, and easily the best Playscale one they've ever made. Absolutely love this thing. Would recommend it for sure. Other set to go along with that is the New Republic X-Wing. Now, I know this is technically a Mandalorian set, but it's an X-Wing. It's close enough, and it's just a beautiful set. I do really like this thing. Probably the best X-Wing they've made since the 2018 one. Second best X-Wing ever, I would say, in that case, not counting UCS ones. The 2018 one was just so far ahead of its time, but this is easily the second best one. And like I said, it's an X-Wing. It kind of fits with it, but it's not technically original trilogy, but I thought it fit. Next set, we have the prequel recommendations here. I would recommend the Battle of Fallujah Separatist MTT. Now, I understand this set is overpriced a little bit, and it hasn't really gone on sale, but this one, it's a good set with bad pricing. It's not like some sets like the Turbo Tank, for example, where it's just a not great set. I say this as I have it on my shelf right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I want to point that out myself before someone else is like, oh, you're hating on it, but you have it right there. I do have it, but I bought it for the figures exclusively. I don't really like the build at all. It's not a great set. I understand that. But sometimes you make bad decisions. But the MTT, which is also somewhere back there, I don't know if you can see it, it's like right where my finger is actually a really great set. It is overpriced. I will not argue that, but I do love this thing. Probably should have been like $120 at most, but beautiful set. Has pretty good figures with the Aayla Secura and Bly, and then the droids are always nice. And like I said, amazing build. It's just bad pricing. It's a perfect set when it comes to the build. Next set to go with that, not with that, I should say, an alternative if you don't want to buy the overpriced MTT is the ATTE Walker. I didn't want this. This is a better set than the MTT. I didn't want this to be the main recommendation though, because it is sold out on lego.com, and it's probably pretty hard to find because this set is retiring at the end of July, and we just had like a double VIP points and all that. So this set probably flew out the doors there, but this set you could find it pretty regularly for like $112. So if you are still lucky enough to find it, I would recommend this over the MTT, especially because it's retiring in a matter of weeks here. The set going along with both of those would be the MIDI scale Venator. I do like this thing. I think dollar for dollar, this is a better value than the UCS one. And overall, great display piece. And I mean, if you don't like MIDI scale, you don't like MIDI scale, but this is going to be my recommendation. You can always go for a couple battle packs, or the V19 Torrent we mentioned earlier, or the ARC 170 is another great set. And if you do decide to go the ATTE route with the MIDI scale Venator, you have a little bit of budget left over for the Plo Koon's Microfighter. Great set here. Absolutely perfect Plo Koon figure. Best we've ever gotten. One of the best Jedi figures we've ever gotten, in my opinion. And just a really nice set overall. If you do go the MTT plus Venator route, you don't have the budget unless you want to squeeze out the $5 extra, in which case, go get the Mandalorian Speeder set for $10 or something like that. Get a couple polybags, whatever. But if you got the extra $5, I'd go this route, but I wanted to keep it within the budget, so just the MTT and the Venator, along with, like I said, you could get the Mandalorian Speeder. So going at the $500 price range, this one we're going to start having some big hitters. For OT, it was super easy because there's a incredible $500 set right out there, the Jabba's Sail Barge. This is one of the best UCS sets they've ever made. It is absolutely beautiful. It has some great figures, and like the only problems you can really talk about with this set are things that are like, I assume, out of Lego's control. So like I don't want to be too critical on it, but overall, I mean, it's a 9 out of 10 set. Like, this thing is beautiful. Like I said, only problem is like a couple minifigures have some issues, but again, they're really out of Lego's control. And This thing was just on 4 times VIP points. So if you, like me, were lucky enough to get it at essentially $400 with the VIP points back, it is going to be a absolute banger set. So like I said, the OT one was a super easy choice. However, the prequel one was a little bit more difficult. This I knew I wanted on here, the $300 Jango Fett's UCS Jango Fett Slave 1. It is, again, one of the best UCS sets they've ever made. It is a perfect representation of this, blows the old Boba Fett's one out of the water, and is probably one of the best like value sets on the market right now. It looks great on a shelf. It's pretty big, especially considering the price and all that. Like for $300, it takes up a lot of room. And it's just a really, really nice looking set. And you do get the UCS Jango Fett figure with the arm printing. It is a perfect Jango Fett. The Boba Fett, but like if you're looking at a side character in a UCS set as the only flaw with it, it's probably a pretty good set. And the sets to go along with that, like I said, this is a little bit more complicated because there's no like easy slam dunk $500 prequel UCS set. I went again with the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. Now, I tried not to duplicate too many sets on this list. Like I tried to give unique recommendations at each tier, but this one just fits too perfectly. I've already talked about it enough, but if you're getting the Jango Fetts, I would almost say you have to get this. It perfectly matches with it. The Separatist MTT is a great set, and I would recommend it with the Jango Fett Slave 1 here, along with the Obi-Wan's Starfighter. So again, you have like $10 left over here, so go get a Mandalorian speeder or something. If you don't want the MTT, again, you could get like the V19 Torrent, a couple other middle of the range sets. But that's it for the $500 price range. Next one we're going to have is probably a controversial choice. The UCS Death Star is my $1,000 recommendation for the original trilogy. I understand a lot of people don't like this set, so don't worry, I have another recommendation on here. But I do love this set. It is one of my favorite sets ever, probably in my top 5 or 6 of overall Lego, probably like top 3 or 4 for Star Wars. I just love this thing. I would highly recommend it. Like I said, I understand if you don't like this. I understand a lot of people don't like it, but I do love it. I understand it has its flaws with like the figures and all that, but this would be my slam dunk 100% recommendation if you do like it. I understand $1,000 is a lot for a single set, but I do truly feel like you get what you pay for with this. If your Lego store still has this on display, go take a look at it. It is huge. Like it, you get what you pay for. Like I said, I truly do believe that. Could it have been like $900? Sure, but like it's still just a perfect set. Not a perfect set. I don't think this set's perfect, but it's still one of my favorite sets ever. The build is an absolute blast. Like that definitely raised it a lot for me. It's like building a modular but in Star Wars, and that was so fun. So, like I said, I do have another recommendation because I understand this set is very controversial, but this would be my personal recommendation. The next $1,000 recommendation is both the UCS Millennium Falcon and the new Imperial Shuttle. Again, it is technically a Mandalorian set, but it does fit in with the original trilogy. When it comes to the UCS Millennium Falcon, what hasn't been said about it already? Like, if you ask someone, do they know Lego Star Wars? They're probably first going to say the UCS Millennium Falcon because it is a great set. This is one of the few sets on this list that I actually don't own. I'm debating if I want to get it before it retires because I do think they'll be making a new one next year, but then there's also the chance that they don't make a new one after they retire this one, and then I gotta wait for them to make a new UCS Falcon. But again, it looks great. I have heard bad things about the build experience, but it is a absolutely perfect model for the Millennium Falcon, and I would highly recommend it. Along with the Imperial Shuttle here, this is a really nice set. If you do have, like I said, I wanted to stay within the budget numbers I set. If you do have the extra $10, I would recommend the ISD over this, but staying within the budget, this is a great set. I understand it has a few issues here and there, should have had 2 pilots, should have had Cara Dune in it, but the build itself is great. In my opinion, it is the best Imperial Shuttle build we've ever gotten, and it is just like, again, it's a set that has like poor pricing, but that's like, if you're complaining about the price, you're complaining about the price with like every Lego set these days, so it's like, I don't want to hold that against specific sets when you can hold it against pretty much every set. So that is my second recommendation for the $1,000 price point for the original trilogy. And now onto the prequel recommendation. My first set I would recommend is the UCS Venator, one of my favorite sets of all time. This and the ISD just side by side is absolutely beautiful, and you get that Rex figure that is not hard to find anymore, but the Yularen figure is still really nice. And just this build is absolutely incredible. It's a fun build experience, has a lot of Technic, which is a downside, but the rest of the build is pretty nice. And overall, again, just one of my favorite sets of all time. This thing is absolutely huge. Make sure you have the shelf space for it if you do decide to go with this one. And then this one, unlike the original trilogy, was pretty easy, being both a $1,000 set and an $850 set, rounded out really easily. This one I decided to go with building kind of a Republic army. So we have the Arc 170, which is a really nice set here. I do really like this build. I know some people aren't the biggest fan of it because I like the wings and all that, but I mean, the clone pilot figures are absolutely perfect, and I do like the build. I understand it could have been a little bigger. The older ones were a bit bigger, but again, this is one you could pretty easily find on sale. This is one I see all the time for $55. In addition to that, the V19 Torrent, already talked about this one, perfect Obi-Wan, perfect Ventress figure. Another one you can probably find on sale. Pretty much everything except like the UCS sets you can pretty easily find on sale at retail stores when it comes to these sets. So if you want to save that budget, like I said, I was just going with MSRP because it translates across the board. Don't have to worry about different clearance sales and all that. But one other thing I forgot to mention about the set, you do get the Clone Pilot, which is a absolutely beautiful figure. So we're at about $800 in budget here. The next set I would recommend is the ATTE. Again, if you can't find this one, get the MTT, but I wanted to put the ATTE as an actual recommendation on this list. So if you are able to find this, I would recommend it. And I also wanted to stick with like the Republic Army type thing. And if I remember correctly, this leaves us about $60. So we're going to add 2 of these clone and droid battle packs to that list. So you get a big clone army, a few droids, not exactly a fair fight with the Venator, ATTE, V19, Arc 170 against the few droids and some of these, they're not spider droids, whatever these are called, and a few staps, but not a fair fight. But I thought it would be really cool as a recommendation, just have the Republic fleet there. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I know it was a little different from what I normally do, but if you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like on the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to see more like this. Let me know, because I might do one for all LEGO themes, maybe even excluding Star Wars, because I already did one for Star Wars, so I might do one of just like all the other themes I like recommendations. So if you do want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.